Okay, so for this next one, we're going to do the rules for addition and subtraction for sig figs. So rules for significant figures, mathematical operations, addition and subtraction. And here's what the rule says. The number of decimal places in the result equals the number of decimal places in the least precise measurement. So again, you're going, what the heck does least precise measurement mean? I understand the number of decimal places in the result equals the number of the decimal places, but then this least precise measurement. So this idea is means this. Least precise measurement for addition and subtraction means the number with the least number of decimal places. And so whatever one has the least number of decimal places, that is where you always round. Sometimes it's going to be a decimal place. Sometimes it could be actually a whole number portion. So it could be in the tens place, the hundreds place, the ones place. It may not necessarily be in the thousands or the 10,000s place. So you just need to pay attention to which one has the least number of decimal places in terms of the number. Okay, so let's look at an example. So here, of course, is an example where we actually do have decimal places. This one is to the tenths place. This one is to the thousandths place. And so when picking which one to round to, you're going to have to round to the tenths place because this one has the least number of decimal places. And so when you look at that, my 18.734 on the calculator will have to be cut off right there. The 3 doesn't make it round, and you get 18.7. So the rule is fairly simple. The only complexity you might face is if you have a number that has whole numbers instead. So if I have 4,500 and I'm trying to add that to 1,323, the idea is that with these guys not having decimal places, this is only accurate to the hundredth place. This is accurate to the ones place. And so when you add these two numbers, you're going to get 5,823. Well, again, you're reporting too many sig figs in the answer. And so I'm going to have to round to the hundredths place, which means I cut off right here, which means I get 5,800 as an answer. And so watch out for this particular fanciness in chemistry because sometimes we do deal with those numbers. So let's look at some examples. So our first example here is where we have all these, and again, I want you to pause. Now I'm giving you two examples. I want you to pause this, try it out on your own, and when you are done, I'll go over the answers. Okay, so for this very first one, you can see that this guy is to the nearest hundredths place, this one is to the tenths place, and so when I do this, I want to round to the tenths place, which means I cut this off right here, and that means that I get 10.2 meters. So in the next one, again, I'm in the tenths place. This is in the hundredths place. So that means this time I'm going to round in the tenths place again. And so when I look at that one, 76.27, I'm going to cut off right after the 2, which means the 7 causes it to round up. And I'm going to get 76.3 grams. In the next one, 0.02 is to the nearest hundredths place. This guy is to the thousandths place. And so when we deal with this, what you want to do is make sure you round to the hundredths place. We get 23.91 or 2.391 centimeters. Of course, it's going to become 2.39 after I cut off the thousandths place. In the next number, we got hundredths place, and then of course we have thousandths place. And so when looking at these, you want to make sure that you round to the nearest tenths place, 709.228. After you subtract those two numbers in liters, you get, of course, 709.2 after cutting off after the tenths place. Sorry. Next number, this is to the tenths place. This is to the hundredths place. Plugging that in, calculator. After you add them, you get 1,821.57 pounds. Again, I want to be at the tenths place. So that means I get 1,821.6 pounds. And then last but not least, these are both to the thousandths place, which means I don't have to round. My calculator answer does not have a thousandths place. I have to communicate that thousandths place. so I better put a 0 in that spot. So you need to be careful that sometimes the zeros don't show up and you have to add it at the end. That's why that last example is there. So in terms of tips for sig figs, just know that the use of improper sig figs in the AP exam can possibly lower your score on the AP exam. 1 point can be the difference between being a 3 and a 4. And it doesn't even matter. If you're a high 3, it's still going to be a 3. So if that 1 point caused you to lose that score on the AP exam, that means it did affect your exam score. And it's interesting. The way they've designed the AP exam now is that one particular problem on the free response exam is going to be graded for sig fig rules. And you don't know which one it's going to be. So you better follow sig fig rules for all calculations, because you never know which one they're going to grade for sig figs. And just know your rules. Okay, so that's the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, again, come see me. We'll talk again later.